Time now to talk politics, current events, maybe even some world affairs. I'm joined by Talk Business and Politics contributor Jessica DeLoach Sabin and KATV's Scott Inman. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
It's been a while for me.
It has, I know. Well, Razorback football, and you've been doing everything. Take all your vacations, you know.
Well, that's important.
Let's talk about the big news this week, which was your announcement that you are going to not be an anchor after the first of the year.
It was kind of a big announcement for me. I didn't realize it would be.
It was a big announcement for a lot of people, Scott.
Yeah.
So, well, we wish you well, but tell me the what, when, and why.
Wow. How long do you have? how far back do you want me to go? No, it was a tough decision. I mean, clearly was. I mean, I've been at Channel 7 for 17 years. I love what I do, but I also have 4 kids and a wife at home that never get to see me in the evenings. Yeah. And that has really pulled on me for a long time. I've struggled with that for a very long time. The problem was I didn't really have a vision of what to do to change that. So as I began to have some discussions with people this fall, and I had one with John Shrewsbury, who is the managing partner at GenWealth Financial Advisors with 5 offices across Arkansas, but headquartered in Bryant, which is also where I live, or I live in Saline County. The options began to open up. Not only was it something that I could bring my skill set from television news as a communicator and a leader in the newsroom to their business as a director of business development, but also something that I could be kind of passionate about as well. And obviously, I'm passionate about my own money and investing my own money. So all that would have to do would be translate that into a knowledge building process to where I could help others with retirement. And the thing I like about this group of people with John Shrewsbury and his folks at GenWealth is that they don't care about the size of your net worth or your portfolio. They want to help working Arkansans. Yeah. And I'm a client. I was a client before I became an employee or before I will become an employee. And let me tell you, I'm not a high worth individual. Yeah. So they took me. They wanted to talk to me. Well, and I like that idea.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Yeah. And I know we've got plenty more weeks and months with you, but I just wanted to say in front of everybody in our audience what a great consummate professional you are and how much I've enjoyed working with you and still look forward to working with you.
I appreciate that,
stuff. Really. So, all right, let's pivot to some politics. Sure. That was business. We'll go politics here. Asa Hutchinson does not want any Syrian refugees in the state of Arkansas. President Obama says we need to do more to allow Syrian refugees in here. Huge topic of conversation after the Paris terrorist attacks. Jessica, you've written that it's not easy for a Syrian resident to make it to the United States. Give me the background.
Not in the least, actually. You would have a better chance of a European national, which, by the way, the people who did pull off that very horrible attack on Parisians, those were all European nationals. We're not talking Syrians. So if you are a Syrian and you would like to come to the United States, you have a 20-step process you have to go through.
A 20-step process?
It's a pretty massive process, and it would take you a couple of years to get through everything. The first 3 steps involve the United Nations. What you're going to end up having are two initial background checks, and at the very end, the last thing you have is a background check. There are fingerprint scans and checks. There are interviews. It's such a lengthy process. What the president and anyone who is supportive of aiding Syrian refugees is talking about is not, hey, these people are just going to show up on our doorstep and let's just let them in and everything's going to be easy. And that's just not realistic.
Not how it works.
Not at all. But the issue has become politicized, and it's such a tragedy to politicize this issue because we're talking about a group of people who are literally living in this very obscure margin between their home, where they would love to be, but they cannot be because there's a civil war and a lot of different factions who are playing for power, who've basically just created complete unrest. There's no place to have safety. And then the United States of America and other countries where people could maybe have a shot at a decent life and safety.
This is blown up in terms of viewer feedback on the TV station here, and it there's a split in terms of what you see people advocating and speaking against.
Well, and that's very good insight from Jessica too, because you don't hear that, I don't think, in the narrative that is more broad in what people see day to day. It is divisive, certainly for our viewers and the comments that we get on social media. We've done a few stories on it. It's even divided people of faith in the faith community on both sides of this issue. And I was talking to Jessica earlier. I think it definitely boils down to you either see it from a humanitarian position or you see it from a national security issue. And the reality is it's both, but it's hard to really come up with a solution when you have to look at it from both angles. But I would say certainly the feedback that we've gotten is the majority of Arkansans, majority of our viewers really see it more on the national security side, and they're concerned about letting them in. But again, with the caveat that they may not understand the full process of what it takes for them to become, to be able to be here.
I'm getting the wrap-up sign from our hardliner producer, Rusty Mizell. You've got a column out on this on our website at talkbusiness.net. I recommend it highly for reading. It's got a lot of insight on this whole situation. Scott Inman, Jessica DeLoach, Sabin, thank you very much for being here.
You bet.
A final word from our sponsors, and I'll be joined by business editor Wes Brown. Is the American economy about to go into a boom period? Someone thinks so, and it's not Wes. We're going to find out who said it right after this.